Swann. Principal Deputy Speaker, and I welcome the opportunity to outline the Employment and Learning Committee's view on the Budget Bill. The pressure in all departments are well known to all in this House, so I will not rehearse the issues here, as I am sure the Minister will be glad to hear. However, from the standpoint of the Committee for Employment and Learning, I would argue that the work of the Department of Employment and Learning is central to redirect in Northern Ireland out of the current financial difficulties. The Committee has heard through its inquiry into careers and evidence from the Department and organisations, such as the CBI, that one of the main drivers for recovery is to ensure that Northern Ireland has the workforce and the skills and training to enable it to compete for jobs in the global market. With that said, the Committee welcomed the Executive's prioritisation of the issue within its Economy and Jobs initiative, announced in November 2012, and the $200 million attached to it, albeit that most part that was recycled money. The Committee welcomed the initiatives for more PhD students, more STEM places and funding programmes to provide assistance to the unemployed to re-enter the labour market. At its meeting on the 14th of November, the Minister came to the Committee to explain these new economic measures and the detail of how the funding was made available. The Committee will continue to oversee the spending of these additional economic measures in 2013-14 and 14-15 to ensure that the targets set are met. Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker, during its meeting on the 29th of May on the June monitoring round, the Committee acknowledged that the difficult economic climate creates pressures on the DEL budget. The Committee was briefed on the budget transfers in and out of the Department, including the $5.8 million that is due from the Department of Health, which is its contribution towards the cost of medical, dental and social work student places, and a contribution of $1.85 million from the Department of Education towards the cost of retaining a £200 a year bonus on the Education Maintenance Scheme. The Committee is also cognisant of the $3 million for the reclassification of the further education from resource to capital. The issue of the reclassification of the colleges to non-departmental public bodies is one which the Committee intends to keep under review this year. Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker, speaking in regard as the Ulster Union spokesman of Employment and Learning, I do raise concerns when looking at the further education in colleges. We can see that some $172 million has been allocated over 2013-14, which is down from over $200 million in 2011-12. However, I do welcome the increased budget year on year, which has been afforded to higher education since 2011, which will receive nearly $220 million in the year, which these main estimates refer to. Mr. Cree already raised the concerns in regard to the Together Building a United Community strategy, which outlined a number of places which cross over in the territory of DEL. Examples include the United Youth Programme, which aims to create 10,000 one-year placements on the 100 summer schools. I would be grateful for the purposes of these main estimates if the Finance Minister could detail if he knows how they will exist alongside current DEL policies, as well as, most importantly, how they will be funded. Ms Cochrane, in her contribution, referred to DEL's statements and DEL's progress in teacher training colleges. The funding of Swann College remains a concern. Fears were alerted when the DEL Minister announced in a statement to the House in November 2011 that, and I quote, "In the event that the Swann-Queen's merger does not proceed, the outlook for Swann University's College is bleak, and I do not have any additional funding for Swann." However, in a statement to the House in May 2013, the DEL Minister said, "Swann-Millis's long-term projections based on its assumptions indicate that it will maintain a positive income and expenditure reserve and cash balance, but again the trend towards a deficit position each year post-2021 will eventually deplete its reserves and cash balance. However, Swann-Millis will remain vulnerable to any additional requirements for capital expenditure across the forecast period, over and above its existing backlog maintenance requirements." With this relative uncertainty in mind, I would ask the Finance Minister to take the opportunity during this debate to commit to making a budget available to Swann-Millis, which will meet their needs for as long as is necessary. He would agree with me that it is a first-class institution and deserves the support of the Assembly. Mr. Principal Deputy Speaker, also recently, the Open University's activities have been transferred from England to Northern Ireland as our third devolved university. The Minister has received clarification that the funds transferred for the Open University will remain ring-fenced, but from 2015-16 onwards, the funds will form part of the overall funds available for higher education in Northern Ireland, and he would intend to fund the Open University's activities on the same basis as other universities in Northern Ireland. Taking into consideration the work that the Open University carries out and its ability to learn while you earn, enable those in employment to increase their educational abilities, would the Minister state that he would be capable or intended to ring-fence the funding allocated to the Open University, even for a further number of years, to enable them to strengthen their position as the third university in Northern Ireland? And the last concern, Mr Principal Deputy Speaker, is that in the June monitoring round already presented to the committee, there's already a bid in for £5 million for the Steps to Work. Is there an implication that if this bid is unsuccessful, the Steps to Work programme will be under pressure in the current year? Thank you very much.